It is December 23rd, 2021. It is 7:08 p.m. This is the full board meeting for Bronx Community Board 11. I'm going to share my screen or with the agenda. Okay, can everybody see that? Oral, are you there? Or can you hear me?
Hold on. Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah, Jeremy, we see it.
I hear you now.
You want to recite the Pledge of Allegiance for us?
Absolutely. Okay, everyone ready? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. There was someone coming in for a minute there, right? I heard some background noise, but it's okay. Did everyone hear me? Jeremy, did you hear me?
We heard you.
Yes,
Okay,
we
great.
Yes, we heard you.
You came in loud and clear.
Okay, thank you. All right, so Jeremy, want to go to the next one? A moment of silence for the fallen first responders, medical and military service personnel, and victims of COVID-19, and all victims of racial unrest in the United States. All victims. Just a moment of silence, please. Thank you. Thank you. That's it, Jeremy.
Jeremy, it's Edith. I think we should have a moment of silence for Silvio Mazzella.
Yes, absolutely, Edith. You're absolutely correct. Yes, we should. Thank you. Thank you, Edith. I appreciate that for reminding me. Sorry. Very sorry. Okay, moment of silence for. Okay, thank you.
All right, so we're going to start with a gallery session. Are you ready for that, Oral? Do you have your timer?
Yeah, let me get my timer ready. Hold on. Let me get my timer ready here. Yeah, how many? Okay, we're giving 2 minutes, right? Yep.
Yes,
So
2
we're
minutes.
ready for we're ready for the 2 minutes, Jeremy and everyone.
Okay. So Daniel's son is in, right?
Hi. Yes, I'm here.
So before you start, Daniel, I just want to note that Diana Finch is going to go. She's going to be loaded towards the end. She requested to go towards before the electeds. So that's the only change up for the gallery session. So Daniel, whenever you're ready, Oral, whenever you're ready, go.
Yeah. Okay, Daniel, I'm gonna give you a 30-minute warning. Okay, 30-second warning. I'm sorry. Okay.
Hi everyone. My name is Dan. I'm here on behalf of the Bronx Park East Dog Run. We have the dog run. At this point, there are no lights illustrating the dog run. I think I brought this issue up in the past with other organizations. Edith, I believe, was in her group meeting before. We'd like to ask the community board for some assistance and help in support and ideas of what can be done. Because right now, once the sun sets at 4:30, the park is pitch dark. And there's actually, around the area is not the safest. There's homelessness around there. And so any ideas, any advice will be very appreciated. Thank you.
Can I say something here?
Okay. Go ahead. He still has a whole minute left.
Oh.
I'd like to answer Daniel, if I may.
Edith, go ahead.
Okay, we spoke to our politicians, Daniel. You're right. You did talk to me about it at my meeting. The unfortunate part is Mark Jonah is going out of office in a couple of days. We have a new council member coming in, and we're going to have to wait until she is in office until we approach her. On January 11th, the association is having a meeting with her as our guest, and this would be a very good time to bring it up to her. So please join us.
Okay, will do.
Okay, very good. Minutes over. Okay,
Okay,
Jeremy, next.
I'm taking over. Jeremy had to step out for a little bit. This is Chris. Miss
Chris.
Diana Finch, whenever you're ready. Oh, I'm sorry, Diana, she's postponed. I'm gonna go to the next one, which is Miss Roxanne Delgado. Miss Delgado,
Yep.
you're in.
Got 2 minutes. 30 is a 30-second warning good enough for you?
Miss Delgado?
Hello? I
Hello,
don't-
Roxanne?
Roxanne, are you on mute? Or are you okay? Hello? Maybe you want to.
I don't see her on the list, so if she comes in later, we can allow her to speak when she comes in.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good.
So we're gonna go to the next presentation. I mean, next person to speak in gallery session. This has to do about Rhinelander Avenue one-way public hearing request, and there are people that like to speak about it. Mr. Robert Press.
Good,
I
Robert. You
did
have
not
2
request
minutes.
to speak
Give you
on
30
Rhinelander
seconds.
Avenue only. I have several items. So it's good that I'm first. Are you ready to time
Okay.
me?
Go ahead.
I'm ready, Robert. Whenever
Okay.
you are.
I must say I'm a little happier tonight that it only took 10 minutes to wait for a quorum as opposed to a half hour last month. But as far as Rhinelander Avenue goes, I think that the board, being that there were only 4 members of the board at that hearing, that the board should lay it over until next month and give it to the Traffic and Transportation Committee to hear, because there were, I think, only 1 member of the Traffic and Transportation Committee, or maybe 2, out of the whole committee were at that public hearing. So it might be better just to give it to the Traffic and Transportation Committee to hear it. There was a land use meeting Tuesday on the Sidewalk Cafe and Street Dining. There were only 2 board members there. And I don't know if you're going to be able to vote on that tonight. That's supposed to be done. Lastly, there is a 17-story building going up in Community Board 10, Pelham Bay, right short distance away from Pelham Parkway, which will be hooked up to the water that is going through Pelham Parkway. It is imperative that the Pelham Parkway Task Force be restarted, because you have the triangle where 8 mature trees were cut down, where pipes and equipment are being stored. It is, I mean, what did they cut the trees down for? Storage? Also, the roadway,
30
between
seconds.
White Plains Road in Boston, is still not worked on, and it's 1 year that they put in the water pipes underneath. Like I said, I'm going to finish with that it is imperative that this board restart the Pelham Parkway Task Force. Thank you.
Very good, Robert. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. Next person, Miss Charlene Jackson, please. Miss Jackson?
Jackson, are you there? Are you unmuted? Miss
Okay.
Jackson?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, you have 2 minutes. I'll give you a 30-second warning.
Yes, and I would like you to know my name is Charlene Jackson Mendez.
Okay, Charlene Jackson Mendez. Thank you.
In the
Okay, you can
Bronx,
start.
yes, in the Bronx, just 17% of active registered voters voted in the 2021 mayoral election. That included elections to the Bronx Borough President and City Council persons that represent the Van Ness community, where Rhinelander Avenue is located. Very few citizens vote, and even fewer are involved with their local community board. As a consequence, decisions that impact the entire community are made with the interest of just a few in mind. I have witnessed decisions made by Community Board 11 in the current year that were not achieved with full transparency nor adherence to stated procedures. The residents of Community Board 11 deserve local leadership that respects the rights of the entire community. The rationale for the proposed street change should be made public. Any traffic study completed should be made readily available to residents and local community groups. Why is Community Board 11 rushing to request a traffic study at Christmas time, no less, when there has been no reasonable effort to seek feedback from the entire Van Nest community? Once a traffic study is completed, the residents of Van Nest will have no further ability to make changes. Community Board
seconds.
11 needs to make a better effort to engage all residents of the Van Nest community. The proposed traffic study should be tabled until the broader Van Nest community has had a chance to weigh in on this topic. The conditions on Rhinelander Avenue have existed for decades. What has changed in the Van Nest community? Where is the momentum for this change coming from? I ask that Community Board 11 members fulfill their responsibility to represent all members of the Van Nest community equally.
Okay, that was perfect. 2 minutes. Okay.
Thank you, Ms. Jackson Mendez. Next person to speak, Ms. Bernadette Ferrara, please. Bernadette?
Yes, thank you. I was unmuting myself. Thank you. Good evening, everybody. This evening, for the record, I am speaking about the Rhinelander one-way as a longtime Van Nest resident and somebody who uses this roadway 5 out of 7 days of the week for shortcuts because of a lot of the congestion on Morris Park Avenue and White Plains Road with regards to the road diets. So the the issue here is that from White Plains Road to Unionport Road, please mute yourself, anybody who's doing that, thank you. So from White Plains Road to Unionport Road going west, okay, that road, that would be the perfect, as somebody who uses this, I'm just saying it has been an issue for a while. The actual petitions were brought up at the beginning of this year and were brought up by a request last year. As somebody who uses this is a narrow road and it should not be two-way, it should be one-way. And I hope the Department of Transportation takes into consideration the people who actually use this roadway that were at the public hearing, that are speaking at the gallery minutes tonight, and other people that deal with the bottlenecking at rush hour, the bottlenecking in the morning, but specifically in the afternoon. And this has been an issue for a while. So I would hope that the Department of Transportation will listen to the voices, at least the voices that are here tonight of the community. I look forward to a traffic study because after that, I think that we will have this roadway go from two-way to one-way, which I think is the best decision. Thank you. And I hope the rest of the board members were able to see the public hearing tape and have a good idea. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Next person, Mr. Osama Al-Silwi.
Hello, Ms. Osama.
Yes, hi, good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Yeah, yes, I'm speaking on behalf of the change for making the one-way, the two ways into a one-way. I live 1 block away from this intersection, and I always use this road every day. I use it 7 days a week, going to work and when I come back when I'm looking for parking. In this area, in this spot specifically between Victor and White Plains Road, it becomes super congested. It becomes blocked. A single car, if they're a resident inside one of the apartment buildings, they're coming down, unloading or loading. It just cripples the whole area. And I believe making it a one-way going westbound will relieve that and will fix and address the issue. And I definitely do believe a study is necessary to take into consideration the people that are utilizing this roadway on a regular basis. And I've been here for maybe since 1998 or 1999. And always, this just gets worse and worse, especially with this specific corridor between Victor and White Plains. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Al-Sliwi. Mr. Heimer Asadi, I'm sorry if I didn't pronounce correctly. Al-Saidi? Heimer?
Yes. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon. We're ready for you to start.
Yes, I
minutes.
own the store in White Plain or Rhinelander, and every day I see some the traffic in the morning, and I have seen a lot of accidents also. And we would like to have that street one way. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Next person to speak, and again, I apologize if I don't pronounce correctly your name, sir. Shokwi Hotter.
Yes, I'm here. How are you guys doing?
We're doing good. How do you pronounce your name?
Shoki.
Shoki? Okay.
Yes.
I was right. Okay, go ahead, sir.
Yes, I'm the owner of the Oasis restaurant, and I've been here for 3 years. I had seen a lot of accidents in this block, and when is one car going up, another car going down, is it hard for them to go down? And I think if it goes one way, we'll have the community and have the neighborhood. I think that's it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Appreciate it. We finished the part of gallery session about the public hearing on one-way Rhinelander Avenue. I'm going to give another chance. Hold on.
Hey, this is Yahya. Just want to follow up real quick, 10 seconds. That I did see that there were 15 accidents according to the crash data at that intersection or in that location, that vicinity, and we believe it's due to the one-way, two-way issue, and also a lot, and I mean a lot of accidents are not reported, or sometimes they occur, and you know the NYPD shows up like 6 hours later. So people don't wait; they just decide not to report it. Thank you.
Thank you, Yahya. And I'm going to recall Ms. Delgado once more. Ms. Delgado, can you hear us? *6 will be okay if you can press that, Ms. Delgado.
Chris, I think she asked if she could go before the elected officials.
No, that was Ms. Finch.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
That's okay. Okay, we're finishing with gallery session. And can we go for the chairman's report? Al, you're next.
Yes, thank you.
Hello. Hello. Can you hear me
Yes.
now?
Yes,
I'm sorry,
Ms. Delgado.
Chris.
That's okay.
I just returned from work and I was in between train stations. I'm sorry about this.
That's okay.
Light.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
May you please start my time, please? And then please have a 30-second warning.
Oh,
got
you
it.
ready?
You got it, Roxanne. Go.
Go for it.
Thank you. Roxanne Delgado, I'm speaking on behalf. I'm very concerned how many things are being pushed forward or being passed through the community board, being propelled by 1 or 2 board members without community input or much community interest in those issues. For example, with the Yemen co-naming street, despite the guidelines where the street co-naming should be named after a resident who has some sort of impact in the community, they pushed for a street co-naming after a foreign leader who was assassinated. And I don't know how that could have been possible, pushed forward by both Mr. Yahya Obi and Bernadette Ferrar. And I have nothing against Yemen people because he accused me of being Islamophobic. I have no problem with the street being co-named after a Yemen resident who has some kind of input in the community, who lives in the community. But to name street naming after foreign leaders, it doesn't sound kosher. And it's against your own street co-naming guidelines. Now we're having this Rhinelander issue. I was very surprised because when I look at NYPD collision data, there was 0 fatalities and 0 collision in your NYPD data. When I look at DOT data, it had the lowest number of incidents in the Bronx. In fact, Palm Parkway has the highest number of incidents in our community board 11, not Rhinelander. And I was very surprised that both Bernard and Yahya again are pushing something that the community board or the community are not interested in, nor do they fear the fact that if there is a traffic study, whatever comes out of it, they'll be stuck with it. We should table this issue until we get the exact data and until there's more community input not being driven by community board members, just 1 or 2, We have to have decisions made by the community, not just one or two community board members. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Hey,
Okay, thank you,
Oral or
Mr.
Chris?
Yes.
Yeah, this is Yahe. I see, Ms. Delgado, that your Islamophobia is continuing since you're saying that this was renamed under a leader, a foreign leader. And last I checked, I guess Mother Teresa isn't Muslim, so you're okay with having Mother Teresa Way in Community Board 11. I guess that's fine with you.
It's
So
not
you
fine with
continue
me.
to pick and choose when you want to oppose things related to the community. This intersection is, like two members already said, it's been an issue for decades. And since now I put my name to try to fix it, now it's an issue because it's me and I'm a Muslim, right? Because I'm the only board member, community board member, that you picked out, singled out based on religion. And now you tell me that this is a street that's co-named after a person who you haven't done the research, but Mother Teresa is okay. This one is not okay. So I'm just asking you, please
I'm not okay with
stop
Mother
the
Teresa.
Islamophobia. Please stop picking on me. I'm asking you nicely and politely. Please stop. Thank you. You can move on, Chris.
I'd like to I'd like to have a quick response, Chris, since my name was mentioned. Roxanne, I am not pushing anything on anybody. My opinion is my opinion. Like I said, for the record, I'm a longtime resident of Van Nest. So as far as the Rhinelander going one way, I drive my car. I have to park behind a car when another car comes the opposite way. It's a narrow, narrow street, and it is an issue. So as far as that's concerned, I deal with that almost on 5 to 7 days out of 5 to 7 days a week. I'm not pushing it out. Let me speak. I am not pushing it.
I was never for Mother Teresa. I don't know why he made this. That was Mark Jonai that did that. I was never for co-naming under Mother Teresa. But the difference, it's a big difference between Mother Teresa and a foreign leader who never resided or ever visited the country. That's a big difference, whether he's Yemen or Japanese or Chinese.
That's your opinion. Why? I mean, how does
opinion? He
yes,
is a foreign
it is your
leader.
Opinion. As far
He's
as Mother
a leader
Teresa
of a
goes,
different country.
As far as
That's a
Mother
foreign
Teresa
leader.
goes, she's an
I'm
iconic
sorry,
person.
Ladies,
That person is important
Please,
to
if you have
his
anything to
community.
address,
I have
That
to
person is
stop
important
everybody.
to his community, and that's what's important.
Okay.
What?
Okay, I'm back, Chris. Sorry about that.
Yes, go ahead, Jeremy.
All right, so unless we have constructed back and forth, let's end it here. Right, Al? Is that okay with you?
I was just gonna say, if there's any questions, you address the chair, you don't address each other because it only turns into a, back and forth, and that's not okay.
Okay, so I guess that ends the gallery, at least until we get to Diana Finch. Al, it's your report. You want to?
All right, I have a few things. First, last night we had our CB11 board dinner, and I would like to thank those that attended. I would also like to apologize for anyone who's given the impression that the board party was open to the public. It never has been, and if anyone was given that impression, which I understand they were, I publicly apologize for that. That was not supposed to be set up that way. It's strictly for board members. And this year we cut it down to only board members, not even their families were able to attend. Usually board members could pay for a member of their family to attend. So anybody who was under that misguided information that it was open to the public, I apologize to that. We obviously didn't make it clear enough, and we should have. Also, we're going to be setting up a town hall meeting shortly, and I just came up with that idea, so no one knows about it except myself and one other person. I understand the construction has already begun, or they're already starting to work on the homeless shelter on White Plains Road. I think we have to have a town hall on that sooner than later. So I'm in the process of trying to find a location. And once the location is settled, we'll come up with a date. Just to give everybody a heads up, so it's not, I'm not stepping on anybody's toes, but I think it's something we've got to do very quickly. And the other thing I just wanted to let you know is I spoke to the people at Jacoby Hospital today. That Omicron virus that is now the mutant from the COVID strain. People are starting to panic, and everybody's looking to get tested. And I spoke to the director of the hospital this morning, and he told me that if you have your shots, it's no worse than a cold. And I said, a bad cold? He said, not even a bad cold. So he said, it's a cold. It's like a cold if you've had your shots. They have 25 new admittance to the hospital for COVID related illnesses. And of the 25 that were admitted, 23 had not had their vaccines. Any of the vaccines. I think the other 2 had 1 vaccine and not the 3. So just to give you a heads up, I know that's information straight from people at Jacoby Hospital. So it's not hearsay, and it's not back and forth on the news media or television, anything else. So for those people that are worried about it, I just want to give you a heads up. Hopefully you can have a peaceful holiday season without worrying too much about this new strain. But if you don't have your vaccine, I would suggest that you get it. But that's up to each individual person. That finished. I just want to wish everybody a happy and healthy holiday season, and I want to thank everyone publicly for their dedication and their hard work for Community Board 11. So everybody enjoy your families, enjoy your friends, enjoy a great dinner, have a good time during the holiday season. Come back ready to work in January. Take care and have a great holiday. That's it, Jeremy.
Thank you, Al. Veronica? Treasurer's
Hi,
report?
everyone. The treasurer's report has been distributed via email to the board members. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me separately outside of the meeting, just for time's sake, so we don't run too long today. And I just want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and a Happy New Year.
Great. Hazel, Secretary's report.
Hi, good evening, everyone. First, I would like to extend my condolences to Silvio's family. He was a good friend, and he's going to be greatly missed in this community. So I hope everybody got a copy of the minutes. They were distributed. I hope everybody had a chance to review them. So I would like to make a motion to accept the minutes of the November 2021 full board meeting.
I'll second.
Oh, thank you. That was Andrea?
Yes.
Thank you, sweetie. Any discussions? Anybody opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, everyone, and happy holidays.
And there were no against or abstentions. Thank you. All right. I guess that's my report. Comptroller's audit. So we got banged on a couple items. I did email the board about that. We've taken corrective action already on when the public speaks. We got a lot of complaints about when we allowed the public to speak during a full board meeting. So I did inform them of that. And then we are attempting to schedule a public hearing every month. So Al suggested basically maybe we should have a public hearing about the proposed homeless shelter in January. So maybe we could arrange for that. Commanding officer appointment program. A board member asked me today if we had a new commander, who I saw at Silvio's funeral. Or no, not a new commander. I saw the old commander. And I specifically saw him and spoke to him. And he knows as much as I do in terms of what's going on. Basically, the last update I gave you was that everything is on hold because of a change of leadership. So we have the current commander still there. He's just waiting for his replacement before he retires. His intention is to retire. Mta Award Contract. So we did get an email about that to share with the board. And so it looks like there's progress being made on the MTA Metro North stations, but basically until it's done, don't don't count everything in the bag. Speaking of bags, leaf bags, we still have leaf bags at the office. And I shared quite a few other items, which I published on the online on the meeting minutes page. And yeah, I mean, I did speak at leadership about some errors that were brought to my attention by the member of the public and elsewhere. Unless there's any other items, please speak to me after the meeting or outside of the meeting. Committee reports. Yahya Obi, leadership.
Yeah, hello, everybody. We have a motion that we're going to vote on. It's to request the state liquor authority to waive the 30-day notice for Irvin's. A lot of members asked during the leadership meeting, how come it didn't go through the regular process? The owner was on. She advised everybody that she had a death in the family. There was a lot of stuff that was going on. So I'm going to go ahead with the motion to request the state liquor authority waive the 30-day notice requirement for the on-premise consumption license application for Curvins located at 735 Lydig Avenue. Do I have a second?
I second.
You don't need a second. It was voted in committee, so you don't need one.
Okay, sounds good. Any discussion? Any abstentions? I'm going to be abstaining for this. Any other abstentions other than me? Any objections?
I wasn't
All right.
sorry, I abstained too. I wasn't unmuting before.
Who's that?
Olivia, Salsa.
Okay. Thank you, Salsa.
All right, 2 abstentions. Any objections? Last call for objections or abstentions. All right, motion passes.
I abstain.
Is that Debbie?
Yes.
Okay, so Debbie is abstaining, so 3 abstentions. Any other abstentions or objections? All right, looks like motion passes with 3 abstentions. Thank you, everybody. I do not have anything else. Happy holidays. Stay safe.
Thank you. Bernadette, education culture.
Yes, hi, good evening, everybody. The minutes are not yet given to the board. They will, and then they will be redistributed. What I will say briefly is that we did have a meeting on Wednesday, December 1st. Our meetings are the first Wednesday of each month. We did have the guest speaker of Amy Fair, who is the CEC 11 parent member and the liaison for PS 481, which is the Steambridge School at 1684 White Plains Road, the old location of St. Dominic School. And we did also have with us one of the parents, Joanne Carpenter, who had a particular request that was brought to the community board, which at this particular meeting, we were able to at least get a very positive road started with the programs that the school should get, and find out what the obstacles are. Also present was the Principal Rojas of PS 481. So it was a very informative meeting. I must say that we also had representative we had Farah from Mark Jonai's office there to offer information. We had Christy Olson from NIDC, who is the youth director, which is still working with PS 481 and helping out. We also had Monica Majors there present for the borough president's office. And I do apologize if I'm missing somebody else, but I will make sure that the minutes include all that were present. But it was a very positive meeting. This is what I do feel that the Youth Education and Culture meeting will hope to do for any schools that have particular problems or issue of programs that they are looking to have for their parents and children. So the minutes will be completed and submitted and distributed to the rest of the board. Everybody, please have a Merry Christmas, Happy Holiday, and a Happy New Year. And my condolences with the passing of Silvio Mazzella. And also may I add my condolences to the passing of John Johnson's mother. So thank you, everybody, and have a blessed holiday season.
All right, thank you, Bernadette. Hazel did have a meeting. We forgot to add her. I don't think she was at leadership, when we discussed the agenda. Hazel, do you want to talk briefly about Housing Committee?
Sure. I was at leadership, but I didn't realize that I was left off the list. That's how much I was paying attention. Sorry about that. So we did have a meeting with a representative from the Department of Buildings to talk about the zombie properties within the Van Ness area. He gave us a very brief report of the properties that we had given him a list of properties that we wanted to talk about. And some of it was good news, some of it was not any news at all. So what I'm going to be doing is going out there myself to inspect these properties to get an update on their condition. And then I will be getting back to him to make sure that DOB does what they're supposed to do. And if HPD has to do something, I need to make sure that they're going to do what they have to do. And I also want to take this time to welcome Mr. Malcolm Gray. He is a new member of the Housing Committee. Welcome to my committee. I hope I can make it as fun as possible. Housing is a very important part of this community board and this community. And anybody else that wants to join, please do. I can use all the help that I can get. So thanks again. And once again, happy holidays to everybody.
Thank you, Hazel.
Okay, Ken, Land Use Committee.
Hi, good evening. Land Use Committee actually had a meeting 2 days ago on Tuesday evening. Let me give you the bottom line on the text amendment. This was a meeting about the restaurant text amendment. Let me give you the bottom line about it. It's not happening. The city planning and the Department of Transportation have decided not to have any amendment now. They're going to be this time let me go back a little bit. This time the Department of Transportation and the Department of City Planning both showed up, and while we didn't have a quorum, they were able to talk to us about what is going to happen. That is what is planned now is that they are basically going to seek input from the public on this, but they are not going to do anything at this point in time. They're going to have the rules the way they are now, and that's probably going to be through 2023. And I'm just trying to keep it short and sweet because everybody is tired and it's really late. Thank you very much, everybody. Any board members have any questions? No, because they're not doing anything right now. That's going to be for another year and a half. By the way, we will be circulating minutes, and the minutes will have links to the Department of Transportation, Department of City Planning websites where you can comment and see what's going on. Thank you very much. I also wish to extend my condolences to the family of Silvio and to John Johnson for the loss of his mother. Thank you, everybody. Have a good evening and a happy holidays for everybody.
Okay.
Thank you. I appreciate
Thank you,
that.
Ken. Who was that? Okay. All right. So we move
Sorry,
on.
Gary, that was me. I was just saying thank you. Appreciate it.
Oh, John? Okay. All right. So we're going to move on to transportation. Before I call him the rabbi, though, he wants me to give a brief synopsis on the background for the Rhinelander Avenue one-way street request. In November, the Department of Transportation requested we have a public hearing about this. That's why we had a public hearing. Although this issue goes back much further. One of the business owners that was here tonight and spoke in the gallery is the originator of the request. And back in January of this year, there was a petition circulated with that at least 150 names and signatures were collected for. I'm sorry, can everybody stay muted, please? So at least 150 names and signatures that were collected in support of this request from taking Rhinelander Avenue from a two-way street that is west of White Plains Road between White Plains Road and Unionport Road. The petition is actually, I think, to Amethyst Street, but the current request is all the way to Unionport Road, which does become a one-way. if you're familiar with this location of the district. We also, we did schedule a public hearing. We did send out enough notification. As some people may recall, we did discuss this, the date and the substance of this request back in November at our November 18th, 2021 full board meeting. And the chairman of the board did not require, did not make this a mandatory public hearing according to the Community Board 11 bylaws. That couldn't be, the community board can be required to go, but that was not the case. That's why it was a small turnout. And especially because of the holidays, Rabbi Fuchs didn't want to force his committee members to attend unless they wanted to. So I think that that's the gist of it. Rhinelander Avenue, it is a two-way street. It does get pretty narrow. I could say the public hearing happened on Monday night. I did send it out to the board. I did send out the petitions. I got the petitions today to send out to the board. And the public hearing happened Monday night. Chris hosted that with Rabbi, and there was some opposition to that. To my knowledge, most of the opposition is not directly affected by this issue. And unless I'm getting anything else wrong, Chris, please correct me, but I will otherwise turn it over to Rabbi Fuchs. Rabbi?
Okay, good evening, everybody. I think you have all the facts from Jeremy, and I thank him and Chris. I thank all the people that showed up to the public hearing. Just for those of you that are into statistics, about 150 people signed the petition, which originated January 2021. So, and again, I just want to put everybody in notice that if you do vote for the study, the odds are we will have to implement the study. There is no going back. So once you vote for it, just bear in mind, if the study is done and they come up with things that we didn't even think about, then we most probably will have to go with the study. Okay, given that.
I'm sorry, that's a great point that I forgot to, let me just clarify that if you don't mind.
Sure.
So the DOT will initiate a study and they could determine, so if you know that street, ideally it's a one-way from White Plains Road to Unionport Road. But if DOT thinks it should go the other way, we don't have control over that. So like Rabbi said, we can initiate the study. I mean, they don't have to accept it. They don't have to, they can look at, they'll do their study. It doesn't mean they have to accept it. But this is a vote for a study, okay? It is a vote to conduct a study.
Right, I mean, I've done transportation a long time on this board. They could come up, I mean, I'm just giving you a wild example. They could come up and say, making a no parking anytime on one side. So you'll lose parking spots. So we're really under their jurisdiction if indeed they go through with the study. I'm not saying they'll do no parking anytime, but I'm saying that's just a wild case. Okay, but given that, I will now make a motion to the board, Community Board 11, those on the board, to do an official study to convert Rhinelander Avenue. Give me the exact two streets going from Unionport Road to
White Plains Road.
White Plains Road. We want a one-way going westbound. One-way going westbound. Again, repeating, Rhinelander, Unionport to White Plains Road, going westbound. We are asking a study from the Department of Transportation. Do I have a second to that motion?
I second it. I second.
Okay. Do we have any discussion on that motion from the board members?
Hey, Rabbi, this is Yahe.
Yes, sir.
I would like to say, people that live in the area admit that it's been ongoing for decades. People within that area on these streets. I hear the residents, even though it was mentioned in last month's full board meeting that we were going to have a public hearing. So me, I am not opposed to tabling it until next month because I honestly think nothing will change. Just get in more input so people feel like they have more input, that we didn't, it's a problem that didn't just pop up right now. It's been existing for decades. I have a passion to fix it, and that was my intention. So I don't mind it being tabled if the other board members are also in favor of that.
Okay, we hear you loud and clear, Yahe. Do we have any more discussion from the board? Questions, comments? Okay, given that, I will now take to see a vote to see, do we have any objections to this motion?
Nope.
I hear sounds, but I don't hear yes. I guess it's only sounds. Do we have anybody that would like to abstain? I hear no voices, and therefore the motion carries. Thank you. Have a good evening. Happy holidays. And we hope we have a lot of better news in 2022. And for those who have lost members, Silvio, Mr. Johnson, we should all know from happy occasions from now on. Thank you, everybody.
And if I could just provide a point of order, that means that motion was unanimous. If you did not vote in favor of the motion, you need to speak up now because we have to know how everybody votes. That's how this works. And I don't want anybody to come back later and say, oh, I didn't know we were voting on this. So the motion was unanimous, just for the record. Everybody voted in favor.
That's what I heard, Jeremy. I didn't hear anybody object.
Okay. Thank you, Rabbi. So that would end the committee reports. Ms. Finch, are you ready to go?
What happened to the Parks Committee?
They didn't meet this month. And Lisa could not be here tonight.
Have you any idea when our next meeting is? January what?
Yeah, we did go over the calendar at the leadership committee. I haven't published the calendar yet because we're waiting on housing. We talked about maybe doing a public hearing with housing. I can pull up the calendar. We get back to that old business if you don't mind, because I don't have the calendar handy at the moment.
I don't mind. I'll call you after the holiday.
Okay. All right. All right. So, Ms. Finch, are you prepared?
I am. I'm ready.
Okay. So Oral, so this is our final gallery session speaker that wanted to speak before the elected officials portion versus where they were in line. Are you ready to time them, Oral?
Yeah, 2 minutes, correct?
Yes.
Okay, I'm ready. You can go ahead.
Good morning. Thanks. So I wanted to go last in hopes that Judy Desir, the organizer of the farmers market, could be here. She works till 8. The plans for next summer are underway to have a full farmers market from June through October, 9 to 1 on Sundays, 4 to 6 vendors, plus the CSA subscription program. The location, we'd like to do it just at the edge of Bronx Park East, where Bronx Park East and Bronxdale meet. And the reason for that is that the vendors, the farmers, need a place to park their trucks right next to where the selling takes place. So there's that large parking lot there right next to the park. Judy has discussed the permit with the Parks Department and everything seems set for that. We now have to discuss it with the Department of Transportation because of the parking that's needed. And Parks and the Department of Transportation need to liaise for that. And that can't happen till January when all the new leadership is in place. We'd like to also start brainstorming about funding and grants. The funds are needed for a storage space, tables, tents, 1 or 2 paid assistants, people from the neighborhood she would like to hire, and promotional materials. And then in addition to vegetables, there'll be eggs, baked goods, specialties like mushrooms, microgreens, health drinks, maybe composting pickup, but we would like the curbside composting to succeed. So we'll wait to see about that. So we'll be reaching out to the elected officials about possible sources of funding and grants.
Okay, that's it. Thank you.
Thanks. Any questions?
No, thank you. Unless somebody does, thank you very much. Finch. Parks Department, Parks Committee is looking to meet on the 13th currently. Yes. So elected officials, is anybody from here from the Bronx Borough President's office? No, they did say they couldn't come tonight. I don't know if anybody here is from any of the council member offices, mayor's office, comptroller's office, public advocate's office, Bronx District Attorney's office, U.S. representatives, state senators, assembly members, any elected officials present that would like to say something. If not, business. I would like to go through the people I have unaccounted for. If that's okay with everybody. Tasneem Al-Jayusi, Christian Amato, Valerie Babb, Joseph Baycoat will be excused. Terrell Boahen, I think he has to be excused. Some of these people, I'll follow up on my records. Junior Campbell has to be excused. Christina Contreras, April Francis, Mulaney Lahoz, Keith Ramsey.
I'm in.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay.
Daisy Rodriguez, Cecilia Smoker, Tafadar Sorov, Janice Walcott. Okay. I will check my records. Otherwise, those people will be marked absent. That's it for me. Anybody else? Old business?
I would like to just say something. I guess it's old business, Jeremy.
I'm in.
Go ahead to you.
Okay. 2 weeks ago on Saturday, the PPNA had a holiday toy giveaway. And I really want to thank publicly the Lydic Optical store that went into partnership with us. We contributed each the same amount of money. We gave out about 149 toys. I would like to thank Mark Jonai and Natalia Fernandez for their participation with their toys and their games and their donuts. This was a great event for our community because of the children and being COVID and a lot of people not working. Any little gift we gave to the kids lit up their faces. So again, thank you to everybody for participating, my board members, the people that came and helped us. Thank you. Have a wonderful, healthy, happy New Year and a Merry Christmas.
Okay. New business, Juanita Rondell. I think you had something.
Yes, hi community members. We're having a coat drive January 8th. That's Concrete Roots and Amethyst Rose and is located in Eastchester Gardens Tenants Room at 12 a.m. We are gladly taking any donations, anyone who wants to come and volunteer. You can reach out to me or I'm not sure. How can I get the flyer to the community board, Jeremy?
So, I mean, ideally, email it to me.
Okay.
And I know you posted some stuff on social media. So
Yeah.
if you send it all in one email, that would be ideal.
Okay. Thank you.
Jeremy, I just want to take a minute to thank Mark Jonai for his dedicated service to the community. And, no one worked harder than Mark, and he's going to be truly missed. He's left big shoes to fill. And I also wish Marjorie Vasquez all the luck in the world, and anything we can do to help her, we will. I just want to make sure that we do give Mark a great send-off because he was all over the place. In fact, today he was giving out the the COVID testing kits. He had 200 available at his office, and he was giving them out, and people can't find them in stores, but he was able to get 200 of them. So he's truly been an asset to our community, and I want to publicly thank him for that. I also, again, Silvio Mazzello was my friend, and we had the funeral mass for him today, and I want to thank the veterans for giving him a great send-off. He will be missed, and I want to, again, my condolences to John Johnson in the passing of his mother. No one means more to a young man than his mom. It doesn't matter what age. So, my condolences go out to John. Other than that, everybody have a great, happy, and healthy holiday celebration.
Thank you, Al.
I'd,
Sylvia,
I'd like
definitely
to,
on this.
I'd like to give some new business.
Yeah, go ahead, Bernadette.
I'd just like to give everybody an update on the tragedy that Van Nest had on Tuesday, December 14th. It was 7:45. There was a 4-alarm fire. 3 houses were affected on Mead Street. It was a true tragedy. The 611 Mead Street, which was the middle house, was where the fire had started. Is an ongoing investigation at this point. We don't have any other information about how the fire started. Hopefully we will get that and let anybody else who is interested know about that. But that particular house is 100% burnt down to the ground. It's the other 2 houses were pretty badly burnt. I think they will be able to be repaired. But in all, there were 15 families that were displaced, 33 individuals, 26 adults, and 7 children. As of yesterday, I was given more information with 2 other families that have reached out. We will be putting together some information on what is needed, which each one of the families. We will be putting that out on Community Board 11, and information about how anybody who is able to help will be able to help us help them. Because at this time, that is the worst thing that could happen, is to lose everything right during the holidays. So thank you, everybody. And hopefully, Van Nest Neighborhood Alliance will be able to keep everybody abreast and find a way to help these families. Thank you very much, and everybody be safe during the holidays.
Jeremy, I'd like to just thank a few people too. We had our annual food drive from the Police Council, and again, PS 89 really came through with tons of food, and PS 108 also came by with tons of food. Also, Lori Solano of PS 89, who always gives us about anywhere from $600 to $1,000 worth of vouchers that we give to needy families and needy people. And maybe I can help you out a little bit, Burnett, with some of that and get some food money to you. But this comes from, again, Lori Serrano. And she's a lovely, lovely person. And her and her family have been doing this for years. And of course, PS 89 and PS 103, 108 have been doing this for many, many years. I just like to thank all the council members for helping with this, all the precinct council members for helping with this, and the police department. But we do have some great neighbors. We do have some great people. And just like to make sure that everybody knows what they've done. And on Silvio Mazzella, a lot of you may know, and you may not know, that Silvio and I were very, very close. He was vice president of the police council for as long as I've been there. And he was always dependable, always had the best interest of this community at heart. He's going to be sorely missed, and definitely missed by myself. And I go along with Al in saying he's one of the best people I've ever met. If you've ever sat down and had a long conversation with him, you could always see where his heart was at, and he's going to be sorely missed by us all. I just want everybody to have a happy holiday and stay healthy. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe.
When you get a chance, give me a call.
Bernadette,
And-
when you get a chance, give me a call.
Talking to us, Ellie?
I'm asking Bernadette when she has a chance to give me a call.
Okay. You hear
Okay,
that?
yeah, Eliza, I definitely will give you a call. Thank you.
Bernadette, I have all those clothing that if you need it, just call me. I'll give them to you.
I'm working, what we're working on is really getting the request from the family so we actually can give them what they need. The list has grown and we need to update the list so that what we give out to everybody. And I think there will be quite a few people that will be interested in your donations. So that will be coming. Yeah, right after, I hate to say it, but right after Christmas, etc. I'll be putting that out there, and members of the Van Ness Neighborhood Alliance will be working out a way to get this, what each family needs. I mean, each family has like 5 members, children, etc. It's really sad that my heart goes out to them, and so yes, we'll just keep everybody informed. Thank you all so much.
Bernadette, Andrea, do yourself a favor and these families a favor. Contact Alex because he has all kinds of goods that you might need besides food and clothing. He might have some furniture or, contact him also.
I was going to call him tomorrow morning.
Good.
Yes. Thank
I
you.
just want to remind everybody that our meeting next month is in flux because of COVID, right? We're meeting currently remotely due to an executive order, and which is set to expire on January 15th. And I haven't asked Einstein in maybe a month or two, but I know they will not let us meet there currently. And so if we do have to meet in person, it would probably be Maestro's, but again, everything is in flux and we won't know till, I guess, sometime next month.
Jeremy, is there any way you can take a vote today of the members that are here if we even want to meet in person or remote?
It's up to you. I mean, I know if you, I mean, it's up to you. I know if they don't extend the waiving of the open meetings law, if we do choose to meet remotely and that's not extended, it would be an illegal meeting. So maybe we want to wait and see. I don't know.
Yeah, I would wait and see what directives come down from the community board before we make a decision. You can always send something out, via email for a vote if need be before the next meeting.
I agree that too.
But it doesn't. But to your point, Andrew, it doesn't mean we have to meet if they don't extend the remote thing. All right. So, any other new business? So
I make a motion to adjourn.
Anybody have a second? Second.
Second. I want to wish everybody a happy holiday season and a healthy new year and stay safe.
Okay, unless there's no more discussion or objections or abstentions.
Happy holidays, everybody.
Happy holidays, everyone.
Bad an hour and 10 minutes. That's almost
Not
the
bad.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
New Year.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Here's to 2022.
Great
Merry
thing.
Christmas to
Yes.
everybody who celebrates. Good
right.
holiday.
Meeting officially ended at 8:11 p.m. I'm stopping the recording.
All right. Take care, everybody.
Bye,
Bye.
everybody.
Have a good one. Bye-bye.